class, today we're going to learn about powers and exponents. So here we have an example. 3 is the base and 4 is the exponent. So we're going to write the base of 3 and multiply it 4 times. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. If you are asked to evaluate, then we're going to find an answer. So 3 times 3 is 9. And we could do that again. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 9 is 81. So if you are asked to evaluate, that just means to solve. So 3 to the 4th power equals 81. Together, the base of the exponent is called a power. So here we have 3 squared, or you could say 3 to the 2nd power. The next one, 3 to the 3rd power, or 3 cubed. 3 to the 4th power, and then 3 to the 5th power. How would you write a base of 5 with an exponent of 2 in words? 2 different ways. So, you can say it's 5 squared, or you can say it's 5 to the 2nd power. The next question is asking you to evaluate 5 squared, or 5 to the 2nd power. So we're going to write 5 2 times, multiply it 5 times 5, and we know 5 times 5 is 25. So if they ask you to evaluate, that just means to solve. What is 5 squared? Write it out first, 5 times 5, which equals 25. Writing expressions as powers. So we're going to take a look at the base in this example, which is 7. And then we count how many times 7 is multiplied by. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 7 to the 5th power. 7 is used as a factor 5 times. So you would write 7 to the 5th. We are in pre-algebra, so we might see exponents this year. Actually, we'll see a lot of exponents. Variables this year. So W times W times W. So W is your base to the 3rd power. I see only one x, so we don't need to put a little exponent of 1. We just know it's an x. And y times y is y squared. The next one, 4 times 4 times 4. So you would say 4 is the base, cubed, 4 to the 3rd power. I see v is our base. How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 v's, so v to the 5th power. And I see 1x. Okay, you try, write an exponent form and evaluate. So remember, evaluate means to solve. So let's write the exponent form first. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So 3 is our base to the 4th power. They've already wrote down expanded form. So 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 3 is 9 again. 9 times 9 equals 81. So 3 to the 4th power equals 81. Second one, 10 times 10 times 10. So 10 is our base, and it is to the 3rd power. So when we have powers of 10, 10 times 10 is 100. 100 times another 10 is 1,000. So you just have to write a 1 with 3 zeros. So that is 1,000. Okay, so 6 times 6, so it would be 6 squared, or 6 to the 2nd power. 6 times 6 is 36. Great job. Any number raised to the first power is the base number. So 3 to the first power is 3. X to the first power is x. 732 to the first power is 732. 3xy to the first power is 3xy. Any non-zero number raised to the 0 power equals 1. Anything to the 0 power equals 1. 3 to the 0 equals 1. X to the 0 equals 1. 732 to the 0 equals 1. 3xy to the 0 equals 1. Negative bases. So here we have -3 is our base. So when you see -3 and it's not in parentheses, that's saying we're going to do 3 times 3, which is 9, and then keep the negative. The second example is saying, because it's in parentheses, it's saying we have to do -3 times -3. So we know 3 times 3 is 9, and a negative times a negative is a positive. And we will go over more of that this year. Find the pattern. So here we have parentheses. So -2 times -2. Well, I know 2 times 2 is 4, and a negative times a negative is a positive. I'm going to go to the right. So -2 to the 4th. So -2 times -2 times -2 times -2. So -2 times -2 is a positive 4. -2 times -2 is a positive 4 again. 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, let's try the next ones. -2 is in parentheses to the 3rd power. So it's -2 times -2 times -2. -2 times -2 is positive 4. 4 times -2 is -8. 4 times 2 is 8. We have one negative, so we have to keep the negative. -2 to the 5th. So we write it 5 times. -2 times -2 times -2 times -2 times -2. So -2 times -2 is 4. -2 times -2 is 4 again, so 4 times 4. But then we have times a -2 in the end. So 4 times 4 is 16 times -2. I'm running out of room here. 16 times -2 is -32. So a negative number raised to an even exponent. So like the first two, they were even exponents. Look at our answer. We have a positive answer and a positive answer. So it will result in a positive number. A negative number raised to an odd exponent, 3 is odd, 5 is odd, will result in, we got -8 and -32, a negative number. I hope this helped you understand powers and exponents. Have a great day.